All right, welcome in, boys. We are not live. We're recorded, actually. It's Take It to the Bank Coda prop show. Meyer is here. Coop is here as always. We're going to break down the props market like we usually do. We broke down the outright market on Tuesday. You guys could check that out. It's on Nuke The House YouTube. Tonight, we're going to go through all the prop markets like we normally do. Please hit the like button. Subscribe to the channel if you're not a member. And you could use the promo code Nuke the NBA right now for the remainder of the weekend to get a free 1-week trial at nukethehouse.com. Cooper, Meyer, what's going on, boys?
Jay, I had a salad for dinner tonight. Hey. You know how long it's been since I had a salad for dinner?
Oh, I eat grilled chicken or steak salads all the time for dinner. How was it, my guy?
I got in trouble.
Why?
My wife served it on a plate.
Do you prefer your salad in a bowl?
Yes, because I felt like I put a lot of dressing on it.
Right.
But I wasn't able to move it around and all this and all that and get it mixed up and everything.
Right.
And it was just dry.
What was did it have protein? I assume it had some protein in it.
I had chicken in it, yeah.
Yeah.
But it was good. I just didn't get the dressing effect.
What dressing did we go with?
Honey mustard.
Yeah, we did. Any croutons?
Oh yeah, homemade croutons.
I mean, Meyer, is that not a slam dunk salad? I'm totally here for that salad.
Had egg on it and all kinds of nuts.
I'm out. I am out.
How quickly the table has turned.
Come on, egg?
Yeah. Egg's good, man. Really good.
Yeah, okay. I'm out. Yeah. I'm out. And you know what? I'm out on this salad conversation. Meyer, how are you tonight, my guy?
But other than that, I'm doing pretty good. I'm just here. I'm just here to shoot the crap and twiddle my thumbs with you and Meyer about some NASCAR, So whatever I say, don't take it worth a grain of salt because I haven't done any research, none whatsoever. I'm shooting from the hip completely, 100%.
That took about 2 minutes. Jay, I am happy that we are finally off the super speedway train. So be it that it has to be a road course when we first break away, but COTA should be fun. A lot of unknowns here, especially with this maybe new tire, supposedly.
What do you mean, mate? Wait. Come on.
We're going sound effects early.
Come on, man. What do you mean, maybe? Is there not a new tire?
Have you heard the tire code for it? Have you heard of anybody putting it on a car and seeing it going around a track?
I sent a message to Chris Wormy today. I said, Worm, there's a new tire. I found no articles about a tire test. I can't find any guy that actually tested the tire. Ordinarily, we know this before any time there is a new tire. Anything? He's like, I'll look into it. Could not find anything. Coop, is there no new tire?
So I sent a tweet to Bobby Potgrass, ask him about it.
Okay.
Unfortunately, because I just am here to twiddle my thumbs and I know nothing about NASCAR, he has not responded to me.
We're not going to do this all night, right?
No, we're not.
Okay. So
if I get that information, I will let you know.
We've heard it's a new tire, right? But I have not heard of a tire test being done. You would assume that if it did get done, that they would release the drivers who did the tire test.
Right.
Especially at a repave. I mean, it's been repaved and we're talking about a soft tire that's going to promote more wear. This just can't be an unknown.
Those two kind of things don't really go together. Like when you have a repave, it is smooth and it's fast, So
yeah, the surface isn't as abrasive, right?
Right, exactly. Yeah. So how it's going to wear is, interesting to say.
But then why bring a new tire then if he just did the repave?
I'm not in NASCAR, man. I'm just a little.
Come on. All right. So, just so we did the outright show on Tuesday. We'll quickly recap that before we go into the props, in case this is the only show that you're watching. Meyer, we'll get your opinion because you were not here on Tuesday night. Coop and I are pretty much, I mean, we're always in agreement, really. It's rare that we're not. But so far, I'm still on the fade SVG train for the race. Coop, are you still there?
I'm right here.
Is that where you're still out at with Gisbergen?
Yeah, I haven't placed any outright bets.
Okay, Meyer, quickly on the odds-on favorite. Are you on the fade train, or are you going to try to beat him, or do you think you need a ticket in your pocket?
I'm going to try and beat him, and hopefully he doesn't qualify on pole, because I don't know how we get on him then at a halfway decent number. But yeah, I think I'm with you. I listened to your guys' show on Tuesday. Thought it was good. I would say the group of people that I would hone in on really would be Reddick would be my favorite. Like if I'm picking one guy to win this weekend, I feel like it's Reddick to me. And then I think it's a toss up between Byron and Bell. My unknown would really be, what does Chase Elliott bring? Those are kind of the bucket of drivers that I'm on outright.
Yeah. I mean, Coop and I were basically in lockstep with you. I mean, Reddick, Bell, and Byron were probably our three favorite guys, even though we thought, Chase Elliott, Ross Chastain, Allmendinger, Ty Gibbs, even, I still think I know that Alex Bowman hasn't led a lap here, but man, I don't know. He could be there late caution. Something happens. Wouldn't shock me. I think he will be in a position to be successful. Probably going to need a caution at the end, I would think. But, if he's up there and you get a caution late, you never know. But, I mean, Coop, you would agree those were the guys that we talked about. Those were the guys that we liked. If I didn't mention Ty Gibbs, he was one of the guys too. Outside of, from Alex Bowman on in the odds board, we really didn't have any interest in the outright market. Correct?
Yes, sir. That's the correct assumption.
And so I got one dark horse. I'm interested in what you guys think.
Okay. Actually, I'm glad you brought this up because I have a question for you guys too. Go ahead.
Austin Cindric. Prior to last year's COTA, he's finished 8th and 6th. And obviously, Penske on super speedways is Penske on super speedways. But, I mean, is there any outside shot he brings a really good car here? Maybe not a race-winning car. But would it shock you if he top 5'd?
Coop and I spoke about, like, of all the people that had 30-1 odds or more, even though it really hasn't translated over like it should have from Xfinity, we spoke about him a little bit, right, Coop?
Yes, sir.
That's it?
Yeah, we spoke about him. I mean, you covered basically what we spoke about. I mean, I think he could top 5.
You think two questions for you guys before we go to the props. Number one is, where do you think Chris Buescher finishes in this race?
Top 11.
Wait a minute. I mean, that means he could win.
No, I don't think he can win.
Okay. Well, then not top 11, right?
You can finish in the top 11 and not win.
Well, then he's looking for a range. I think what you're looking for is like somewhere between 5th and 11th place. Probably be what I would guess.
Somewhere between 8th and 11th is where I think he finishes.
At absolute best?
I mean, I think some, shenanigans would have to happen or something to that effect, or he would have to do something that no other driver is doing and be off cycle somehow, some way. But yeah.
Okay. What about you, Meyer?
I can also see Chris Buescher finishing outside the top 11 easily too.
Yeah, I think he's got a pretty wide range of outcomes, depending on what Zilich and some of the other guys bring to the table. But it wouldn't shock me if he finished, somewhere between that 5th to 10th place. I mean, he's shown he can get it done on a road course. I guess the biggest unknown is what this new layout does.
Last one, Michael McDowell. Right?
Real quick, hold on, real quick. Isn't Buescher trending the wrong way on road courses though?
Yes, I mean his finish has gone down. Yes, it's gone the wrong way. His average finish. Yeah,
he's back-to-back top 10 here at COTA in 23 and 24. Finished 8th, two years in a row.
But that was his best road course last year, perhaps, possibly, maybe.
Well, hold on. Did he beat SVG, right? What was that? Was that Sonoma?
I could check. I could check.
I could pull it up too. But he beat SVG on like the last turn, or maybe the second to last turn on one of those road courses for the win.
In terms of like speed rank, he was 11th at COTA, 12th fastest at Sonoma, 4th best at Watkins Glen, 9th. He was top 5 in average speed rank in 2024 on road courses. Top 5. At COTA specifically, yeah, what Meyer said. He finished 8th in speed 2023 and 2024.
Wasn't COTA one of the races where his car caught on fire? He lost a lap and then he got back and finished in the top, or was that Indy maybe? When they had
that I'm not sure, to be honest.
So he won at Watkins Glen. That was the race I was thinking of.
So maybe he's not trending in the wrong direction.
All right. My second question is Michael McDowell. Now, Michael McDowell has been the nuts. Like for a little shitty team like Front Row, he's been the nuts on road. He's been so good for them.
Sir, watch your language.
What? He's been so good for them on road courses in this next gen car, right? And then he goes to Spire, right? So I think the automatic assumption is moving to a new team, not going to be in that equipment. Yeah, he was 16-1, 12-1 last year on some road courses. Now he's 40. We're out. But I mean, Spire, that partnership that they have with Hendrick is huge. Like, I don't see him being in bad equipment. Now, are they going to get the handling right, which is very important on road courses compared to where they were last year? Probably not dead on, but I bet you that he gave them some insight as to what made that car so good last year. So I don't know. It's such a big price increase on him. He was 12-1, no joke. He was 9-1, I think, last year at close on a road course. And now we're talking about 40. Are you guys just auto out on McDowell? Is there no shot that you guys think that maybe he is that dude on these type of courses? Or like where? I don't know. The more I think about him at the price compared to what he was last year, don't get me wrong. I think it's a wait and see live. Like I'm not going to press the button on him pre-flop, but I don't think he's automatically dead. because he's changing teams. Where are you guys at on that?
I mean, I'm like you. I'll bet him live. I'm kind of on the downtrend for Michael McDowell personally. I went against him this weekend head to head, so we'll see. It's not necessarily Michael McDowell. It's more like the Spire road course ability.
Okay, so you think basically new team don't expect anywhere near the same results, basically.
I mean, I wouldn't be shocked if he finished in the top 10, but I think a better outcome for him is more of outside the top 10 to the backside of the teens.
Meyer?
Yeah, I guess I'm kind of in a wait and see mode with him. Would be like where I'd rather see what he does in practice and qualifying. I think that'll tell you a whole lot. And I mean, what's the most you think they would cut his price? Do you think he qualifies in the top 10?
I don't know. I don't know what to expect now, to be honest. If he qualifies in the back end of the top 10, he probably goes from 40-1 to 20-1, knowing how good he's been the last couple of years. Maybe 24-1, 22-1, somewhere around there, I would think.
Well, to end out 23, he finished 36th, 32nd, and then the beginning of COTA last year, he finished 38th. So,
Were they accidents?
He had an engine problem or something at one of them.
Yeah, because I don't think he finished the race at COTA. Or if he did, it was something had to have gone wrong.
Yeah. I don't know. It was just something.
He had a steering issue.
It was just something like he was the second fastest at Sonoma. He was the fourth fastest last year at Watkins Glen. He was a fucking problem. I mean, clearly he had an issue at COTA, clearly, because he would have been in the top 5 in speed again. He was a problem.
So, I guess to sum up my thoughts on him, you just brought up how he was fast and all this and all that.
Yeah.
How many poles did he win last year on super speedways? And then what was his performance the last 2 weeks when it comes to speed?
Yeah, that's fair.
An interesting note about him, too, he was the other car that did that Chris Bell strategy at COTA last year that stayed out, extended stage 1, and then tried to turn it into a 2-stop race. Obviously didn't work out the same for him as he had steering issues. I think he lost power steering, if I remember correctly.
I think you're right.
And COTA's not the race. You don't want power steering.
All right, boys. So we're going to go through the props like we normally do. Where am I going to look? That Meyer could also look.
I got them all open.
Yeah, but you don't have Bet365, right?
I could open it if you'd like me to.
Yeah, open that one up. We'll go off that because they have all the props.
That is so painful. You're making the guy open up the book.
Yeah, open it up.
And by the way, like, I don't know what happened. Maybe it's just on my screen, but like on my screen, we need to flip flop or Diego's not going to be happy.
Yeah, something glitched mid. I was like, right when you started to bring up McDowell. I don't know if it's a bad omen, but
there you go.
I didn't do that.
No, it happened live. I watched it.
Well, something did it.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So I'm going to look at Bet365 just because they have all the props. Ordinarily, we don't bet top 3 finish, starting with finishing positions. Are you guys, does top 3 intrigue you anymore because it's a road course? And if people qualify well, they're in a good spot. Like, where are you out on that? Is top 3 an auto pass, or did anything intrigue you in the top 3 market?
Top 3 is an auto pass for me just because of the closeness of the drivers when it comes to skill set of the top tier and the cars of the top tier drivers here.
Right.
A guy who could finish second or third easily could finish 7th or 8th. A guy who could finish 7th or 8th could easily finish 2nd or 3rd. They're really tight. So you only 3 positions, not worth it for me.
And I'm right there with you. Auto pass, and knowing that if there's a late caution and it's just barreling into turn 1, it doesn't matter if you're an 8th. You could be top 3 after that turn 1, or you could be dead last and spun out. So, not a market I want to play in.
Yep. I don't bet top 3s, so I couldn't agree anymore. Top 5, SVG even money. Will Byron plus 125, Reddick plus 125. Make sure you shop. I've got 11 books up right now, but I can only look at one right now. So the list goes on and on. First of all, I mean, that price on Zillich, the top 5 at plus 125 is a joke. His qualifying odds to get the pole at plus 320 is a joke. I don't care if he gets it. It doesn't matter. It's about what the price should be. And it's so far off what the price should be. It's almost offensive. Chris Bell plus 180, Elliott 180, Larson 180, Chastain 220, Dinger 250, Gibbs 275, and Bowman 325. Looking at this, my gut says Will Byron, Tyler Reddick, top 5 this race. I don't love the price at plus 125, but my gut says they top 5. Bell plus 180, Elliott plus 180, a little more attractive. I think they both have. I think Bell does top 5. I think Elliott can. Larson at plus 180. You're not going to see that price probably the rest of the year. So if you like it, eat it up. Chastain at 220 sticks out to me. I like that number. I think he's going to top 5. Probably my favorite at the price. I'd have to shop it. Dinger, I don't mind at 250. Gibbs, I don't mind at 275. Bowman at 325. He's done it 3 years in a row. Plus 325. Don't hate it. Kind of like it. Where are you guys at in the top 5 market?
I'm in the same boat as I was for the top 3. Again, you do have more leeway here. Obviously, 2 more spots. But again, I think you could easily lose out. There was one guy that did have me interested, and that was Tyler Reddick. Not necessarily because of the price, but because of I think he's going to finish in the top 5. Like what Adam said earlier, he's my pick to win. Would be my favorite. I think he's the most consistent road course driver we've seen here recently. But I did pass. I decided to go in a head-to-head versus the top 5 because I'd rather just beat one driver than, have to finish in front of, 32 other ones or however many it is.
Meyer?
Yeah, the price on Ross at 220 and then the price on Bell at 180. I think both of those are fair for their track record here. Obviously, I think because Village is skewing these markets. I feel like we're getting better value on some of these fringe top 5 guys because they're trying to slot Zillage in for a spot. Which do you think that the numbers on Zillage are just the books not wanting action on this kid because they don't know what to expect?
I don't know.
I do. I think that they would just rather, play it safe and let MGM take the beating since they're the ones that got beat up because of the, fiasco. And, if they get no action, I don't think they really care.
Yeah, if I'm the sports book, I want all his action. Give it all to me. But whatever. I mean, there are a couple top fives here that.
But I mean, if you're the sports book and you want all the action, then like, what would you have them at? 25, 30 to 1? Because that's what's that you would get action there.
Well, I bet you that would you be surprised if he's getting bet to top 5 this race at plus 125, given the fact that he's the 3rd favorite in the race?
I'm sure there's people out there, but I don't.
Yeah, those are the people I want. Yeah, those are the people.
I don't think there's a lot.
I'm taking all the money at plus.
I think there's a specific group of people that want to say that they had a ticket on him if he does win this race, right? Regardless of the price, they just want the thrill of knowing that they bet the 18-year-old kid that won the Cup race.
If you want to bet this kid to win at 7 to 1, I'm taking all the money.
Well, I mean, MGM's got him at 525. He has the legit same odds to win the race as SVG.
Every dollar. Just keep betting him.
Now, I will say what that kid has done is impressive. It is impressive.
Yeah, against fucking people that should be driving for UPS, right?
Yeah, his Watkins Glen performance was pretty goddamn good. But again, put him in a Cup car. Let's just see. The one thing that is going for him, right, is he's going to have 50 minutes of practice time in Xfinity. He's going to have an entire Xfinity race, and then he's going to have 30 minutes of Cup practice, and then he's going to go.
He's got to either be a legitimate phenom, or they have to give him the best car in the race to be Reddick, Bell, Byron, Elliott, Chastain, and it just goes on and on. SVG, like, I just can't see it. Unless he is the next Kyle Larson, I just can't see it, man. I just can't.
Yep. I'm in lockstep. I don't have anything in my bet slips with his name tied to it.
Jed, just quick reminder, we should be on top 10s by now.
Listen, this is the take it to the bank.
I mean,
just trying to help you.
Top 10s. Go ahead, Coop.
I bet 5. I do like the top 10 market. I think the prices, aren't bad. I think for whatever reason, they don't price them as nearly as high in the road courses as what you'll see at some of these ovals. So again, I think if you look at the records, there's 4, 5, 6 drivers that have finished in the top 10 here 2, 3 of the 4 times, and or 2 or 3 or 3 of 3 of the times in this new car. So I took some shots on them. I took Byron, Bell, Elliott, Reddick, Chastain.
Those aren't straight though, right?
Oh no.
Yeah,
they're all like
they're minus 260.
Even money to like 1.25.
So your advice would be for people to tie one leg to what?
Yeah, I tied one leg to it.
Okay. Meyer, where are you at?
I have one top 10 bet. I put it in the Discord today. Alex Bowman minus 109. You can get that at Canby. Kind of a crazy number considering the fact he's finished 2nd, 3rd, and 4th.
Yep.
Like if you're going to give me him around even money to finish top 10, just knowing his pedigree here, I'm going to take that. I think that number, excuse me, that number is closer to minus 170 at DK and FanDuel. So it's just, I think I think minus 110 is a fair number given what Alex Bowman has done.
Yep, totally agree. He's even money at Bet 365. I will probably bet that. I will probably bet Dinger to top 5. I will probably bet Chastain. Bell, and Reddick and Byron, the top 5. If I could find something in MMA this weekend, but I will bet Alex
He's in
Bowman.
top 10, top 5.
I'm sorry, top 10. But I will bet Alex Bowman straight. I agree. I think he's a top 10 car. If he's not, it is what it is. It means he severely underperformed the last 3 years. So I'm with you there. Byron, Reddick, Bell, Chastain, Bowman, and probably Dinger for me. Coop added Elliott. But again, if you can't find one leg that you absolutely love to get this down to even money, then you should probably pass and just bet straight bets like Bowman. All right, moving on from finishing position.
So you have no other interest in any longer shots?
For top 10?
Yeah.
Not really. I mean,
The pricing is just flat once you
could
get into that
could
second tier.
Bubba top 10 at 6-1? Maybe. Could Logano top 10 somehow? Or Blaney at 250? Maybe. But I don't know. Are you seeing anything you like, Coop?
Like if I was going to take some long shots, it'd probably be on Gilliland at 6-1. I don't mind the Bubba. I like Chase Briscoe. I just wish the number was a little bit, at 2-1.
Yeah, 160 is not great.
Kyle Busch,
But it's only one. I'm with you because I think Kyle Busch was pretty close. I mean, you would you consider him probably a top 10 road course guy last year, even if he finished at the back half of the top 10? Eighth.
I don't think he had a lot of speed. I think he did a lot of it with strategy and things of that nature. I don't know. I would probably.
He was 8th in speed at Coda.
I would probably put him on the cusp of top 10, somewhere in there.
Yeah, but like I'm with you, but like plus 150 just seems short.
Yeah.
Yeah, Meyer, did you see any long shot top 10s?
No. I will say that price on Blaney at 250 is not terrible, considering if you look around the landscape, he's plus 150 to plus 170 at most shops. But am I rushing to bet a Blaney top 10 here? Probably not.
He could top 10 for sure. He could. But like he's 4-1 to be the top Ford.
His average, at finish at Coda is 13th, 6th, 21st, and a 12th.
Right. Yeah, if I was going to get involved with Blaney, I would probably try to get the better price for him to be top Ford. But all right, that's finishing positions. Winning manufacturer, Coop. I was looking at the odds earlier. I guess I understand why Chevy is that big of a favorite, but there are 2 legitimate beasts for Toyota that could win the race. Almost 3-1 for Toyota. I don't fucking hate it, but I mean, I'm going to pass on the market altogether. But I mean, with how good Tyler Reddick is and how good Chris Bell is, feels a little disrespectful. Almost 3-1. Where are you guys at on winning manufacturer?
I mean, I have no interest in it, but the depth is what's making Chevy so favorite. But I don't know. I think I'd rather Bell and Reddick just try to get an outright versus doing the manufacturer piece, because I think after those two, I don't want to say it drops off significantly, but the win chances do drop off.
Where do you rate Gibbs, Coop? Like in terms of chances of winning the race?
I think that the thing that kind of keeps me off of Gibbs, I was interested in the top 10, but then I pulled back. Is what if the tires do wear? He's shown that he's not good managing tires.
Yeah, don't really disagree. Meyer, where are you at on Gibbs?
Once I saw that little snippet about this new tire, it really kind of cooled the water for me on Ty. But like, he's good, right? I mean, he's really good at road courses. Does this feel like his first Cup win? I don't know if this is the one he gets it done at, but I don't know. That's kind of my uninsightful view on Ty Gibbs this week.
Yeah, I don't disagree. All right, top manufacturer.
Side note of manufacturer. Before we get off this, there was one bet, and it closed, and then it came back, and the number was way gone. And the only reason I'm bringing this up is because I don't think we'll touch this one if I don't bring it up. But Caesar's added a new market this week. Number of manufacturers to qualify inside the top 10.
Number of manufacturers to qualify.
Like number of Toyotas to qualify in the top 10.
Oh, okay. Okay.
They opened that number at
2.5
plus 110 to the over.
That's a bad number.
I would have bet that.
All three qualify in the top 10.
Right. It went quickly to minus 140 after they locked it.
Yeah, it's
like
bad.
I'm not opposed to right now. If we found a leg that we loved in MMA or something else, I would still tie something to that minus 140. I think you can slate 3 Toyotas in that top 10, like we just said: Gibbs, Bell, Reddick.
All right, top manufacturer. I'll tell you right now. I'm gonna start with Chevy. How are you gonna make Will Byron 6-1 to be the top Chevy, and 859 to 1 to win the race?
Because they're minus 220 as a manufacturer to win the race.
No, you're misunderstanding me. I think there is value on Will Byron to be the top Chevy at 6-1 if he's only 8.5 to 1 to win the race, with as good as we expect a few Toyotas to be. And that number on Chastain at 10-1 feels crazy to me. Like, listen, man, if you're buying into the SVG Connor Zillage shit, cool. Then I'm gonna get killed. I'm not doing it. So, like, Will Byron and Ross Chastain and Chase Elliott at 6, 7, and 10-1. I'm just looking at DK right now. I don't know. I might have interest in this market. I think that number is way wrong on Will Byron at 6-1. Way wrong. You're telling me that this kid who has a win in this car the last 3 years should be a bigger odds to win to be the top Chevy than an 18-year-old kid that's never ran a Cup race? Okay, I'll play along. That's fine.
That's why it's 6-1, right?
Yeah,
if
bro.
Village wasn't in this race, what do you think Byron is?
3-1.
450?
3-1. 350 maybe. And SVG's probably 225. Like,
I think if you bet this, like, you either just take a shot on one person or you've got to go really deep into it. And even if you go really deep into it, you could still get burnt. Like, there's just so many potential winners. I mean,
you would agree. You would agree with me, though.
Chastain,
you would agree
Dinger.
the number on Byron, Elliott, Chastain, Bowman, it's wrong if you're going to compare it to their performance at this track in this car. It's wrong.
I mean, it is high, and I think it's high just due to the competition.
Yeah, I mean, I guess they're just slating these two guys to be just automatic in the top 4. I don't know. Like,
well, and the other thing about SVG is he hasn't ran a Trackhouse car here. I mean, he finished 20th last year in that Call-It car. Like,
I mean, it's encouraging for him that Chastain's got the nuts here. I mean, he's got one of the best cars at this track in this race, hands down, over the last few years. Maybe they tip him off and they set that car up right. I don't know. But I think
Chastain is running Xfinity too, right? So he's going to have a really good feel for this track, you'd think.
yeah.
And Byron too.
I don't know. I just think these odds are wrong because I don't think these guys are the two favorites. So it's going to make me think these odds are wrong. Am I going to get involved in Top Chevy? I'm not sure. But maybe.
I will not be.
If I do, the plays will be on the spreadsheet and in the Discord for people. All right, top Ford. Busher. Hold on, let me stick with Bet365. They have Busher 190, but I just saw 225 at DK, so make sure you shop. Cindric 260, Blaney 4-1, Logano 550, Custer 14, Keselowski 18, Todd G 18. Coop, I'm going to assume you like Todd G at 18.
So I've been looking at this all week, and the two drivers that are probably keeping me away at this point of getting into the top Fords is Ryan Blaney and Joey Logano. Because my initial thought was, I want to be taking some more shots this year on some longer numbers. And Cole Custer and Gilliland, come to my mind here. But then I started thinking about it, and I'm like, what if it's just Busher and Cindric? And just take the two best drivers and hope nothing silly happens. But then I just keep thinking, like, Blaney and Logano could do some stupid, strategy and end up, being at the front near the end because they're probably racing for points for the most part. I don't know. I could just see them sneaking in and ruining this.
Meyer, where are you at?
My snap reaction was the same as what Coop said. Do you just take Busher at 225 and Cindric at 3-1 and then just pray for some sort of normalcy that we saw last year? Or is this something that you take two longer shots? I mean, you can get Custer at 16 and Gilliland at 22.
Because, like, the other thing that scares me is you mentioned this earlier, Adam, was like, let's face it, there's not going to be a bunch of Fords near the front of the field come the end of the race. And you get that restart with a couple laps left. And let's just say, Busher's there in 7th and Blaney's in 14th and Logano's in 16th. Cindric had some issues. He's gone. Well, they have a crazy restart, and then Blaney or Logano end up in front of Busher somehow. Like that, I don't know. That scares me.
Yeah. Like a late race caution could really put you in the dirt. Just knowing that you're going to be mid pack and it could be chaotic in turn one.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody
Well,
racing for
it's a
track
little
position at the
it's a
same
little
time.
spread out now more since they, adjusted the restart zone, but still that middle pack of cars from 8th on back, it can get tight in there.
Right. And I don't know, Jay, if you saw, I sent you the kind of a boots on the ground at the new turn. I don't know
Yeah, I
how you
saw.
I don't know how you go too wide through there. That
Yep.
looks really tight.
Gun to your head, where do you guys think Gilliland? Where do you think not Gilliland? Where do you think the top Ford finishes in the race? 6th to 9th?
I think that's a fair spot.
Yeah, I would say so. It'd be my same answer as where does Busher finish, right? 5th through 11th.
And do you think Busher he's earned the right to be the favorite, to be the top Ford, or do you think that number's wrong?
No, I think it's fair. I think Austin Cindric could easily beat him, but when you look at the data, it clearly points to Chris Busher.
How, like, I agree with you, right? But I don't know how far behind Blaney, Logano, Gilliland are from Busher and Cindric. I don't know. Like, it would not shock me if one of those three guys that are not Busher or Cindric got top Ford.
Right. That's I said. Just Blaney and Logano scare me.
And
All
Blaney's
right.
kind of a wild card here because, he was 7th fastest late in a run at Coda, and he was also 2nd fastest in his 4th segment speed at Coda last year.
So I'll probably avoid top Ford. I assume you guys probably will too.
I'm not completely out on it yet. Of the three manufacturers, it's the one I would probably bet if I'm going to bet one.
If I was going to bet it, I would only take a shot. I'm not betting the favorites. That's for sure. Top Toyota. Last year, odds are changing. Obviously, they're always changing year to year. We're constantly getting squeezed out. It's just a part of the business. Last year, we would have been able to get Reddick and Bell 2-1, and I probably would have bet them both. I would have made a unit, and I would have laughed and said, thanks for the 1,000. This year, those odds are, you're not getting anything remotely close. Tyler Reddick is as low as plus 130 to be top Toyota on Bet365. Bell is 2-1. Gibbs is 3-1. I don't really think there's anybody where if you want to bring up Chase Briscoe, he's 8-1. Bubba's 40. I mean, God, the amount of shit that would have to happen in that race for Reddick, Bell, Gibbs, Briscoe to not fit. I mean, Bubba at 40. I mean, I'm assuming that a nuclear bomb hit the track. So I wish I could bet Reddick and Bell at 2-1. I would do that, but I can't. So it's going to be a pass for me. Top Toyota. Where are you guys at?
So initially, when I first saw this, I forget what book it was. I saw JHN, Riley Herbst, Eric Jones all at 100-1. Bubba Wallace was 60-1. And, I'm like, bringing back the old days, but, we have 9 drivers now versus 6 is what it was before when we were going after Wallace at them numbers. And then I quickly, was like, man, I looked at the top and I was like, to what you said, like a lot of stuff would have to happen for Reddick, Bell, and Gibbs to not finish top Toyota. But, just sitting here thinking and what we've talked about and stuff like that, Bubba Wallace finished 10th in this race last year, right? Or did he start 10th?
Bubba last year finished.
Bubba Wallace finished 15th.
I don't even see him. Where the fuck is he?
So,
Yeah, good.
But again, like, let's say this year he's in 10th and we get a restart and there's 2 Toyotas up there and they get kicked to the side and Bubba Wallace, finishes 4th, but he's the top Toyota, or 5th and he's the top Toyota at 50-1. So, like, if I'm going to take a shot, it's probably going to be at Bubba Wallace. And the only way I think it would win would be a similar situation to what I had just talked about.
Yeah, I get it. Basically, that's where I'm at too. Where are you at, Meyer?
Yeah, I don't have the stones to fade Bell, Reddick, and Gibbs for those guys. If it was like 2 of them, maybe, but I mean, even that's a super tough ask here.
I mean, and Briscoe too. I mean, I don't think Briscoe is going to be horrible here.
Yeah, Marty had speed late in that run last year too. So, but don't you feel like that number on Bubba is drastic compared to like Denny? I mean, Bubba's 45-1.
Like, that's what
Denny's
I was
16
like.
to 1.
Denny Hamlin should be closer to 20, 25.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah. That's kind of where I'm at. I'm not like well, I guess I haven't taken any shot in the manufacturers, but Toyota's not where I want to get involved at the current numbers.
Like the other thing too to consider here is these numbers are going to drastically change after qualifying.
Yep.
And like a Chase Briscoe could be 16-20-1 if he doesn't qualify in the top 10 and the other 3 Toyotas just, do great in qualifying. Same way with Chevy. You're going to, some of those numbers that you see on Chevy, like, a Chase Elliott 550 could be 10-1 if he doesn't qualify in the top 10, So if you're really going to bet this, you want to not bet the drivers who you don't think are going to qualify well, but maybe you're just outside of the top 10.
Yeah, I agree. All right, groups. So I'm going to look at a few different sites. Start with Bet365. Group A, Gisbergen, Byron, Reddick, Bell. That's a tough one. Group B, Larson, Chastain, Dinger, and Gibbs. What do you think? Where do you think Kyle Larson finishes the race, Coop? What do you expect out of him?
Big wild card. If you go by the data, top 10 is going to be challenging for him here. But I think, he's probably ran better than what his finishes are. So he could go out and win. He's Kyle Larson. All right. I think he has a wide range of outcomes, unfortunately, and it's probably maybe perhaps the hardest driver to predict where he might finish.
I agree. I think you're right. He's probably the biggest wild card in the race. What do you think, Mar?
Yeah, I was actually going to say the same thing, but for in essence of time, I won't say the same thing. But yeah, I don't know what to expect from him.
I don't mind the price on Chastain and Dinger at 250 and 3-1 against Larson and Gibbs. It's not terrible. Group C, Kyle Busch, Cindric, Briscoe, McDowell. No real opinion. Any groups that you guys saw that you guys liked on any site this week?
Like, I scanned all the groups. We didn't do nearly as much group betting last year as what we did the prior year.
True.
I don't know if it's the numbers aren't as good or if it's just that we're facing 2 units now, and hoping to win, a unit or a unit and a half or whatever it might be, but you could very well easily lose those 2 units. The only group that stuck out to me was on Caesars, group letter G. Todd Gilliland, Bubba Wallace, Keselowski, and John Hunter Nemechek.
Gilly and Bubba against Kez and Hunter.
Right. 220.
Yep. I don't hate it.
I did bet Group A at DK. I bet Reddick at 3-1 and Byron at 330 over SVG and Zilich.
Good numbers.
Yeah. I still think it's scary, but
it's scary, but I think I would rather take that than like a top 5 on a Tyler Reddick because of the number that you're getting.
Yeah, I essentially I'm just going with my gut on Fade and Zilich, right? And I feel like Reddick and Byron could both win that race legitimately, and I'm just going to take the 2 drivers against essentially SVG at 3-1 and 330.
Right. Like theoretically, they should all be closer to each other in what their number is.
Yeah, SVG to me shouldn't be plus 175 to win that group.
Yeah, I didn't really see many groups that I liked. Just looking, I don't really see many. All right, matchups. You guys bet any matchups?
So matchups is something I'm going to pay a lot more attention to this year.
Really?
I think we have, I don't want to say ignored it, but maybe not looked at it as much as what we should have in the past. I looked at them this week, and I thought for the most part, the matchups were pretty evenly matched of who they have paired out there. I did come across 2. I took Chase Briscoe over Michael McDowell.
Straight?
No.
Wait, what do you mean no? You're tying parlays to matchups?
I did.
How many?
Plus money lives. Plus money life, kid.
One leg.
How many?
I bet 2.
Okay.
One leg. Briscoe over McDowell. I think it was minus 115 for each side. I talked a little earlier. I think McDowell's kind of on the downtrend. I think for the car that Chase Briscoe has had so far this year, it just hasn't met the results. And to what Adam said earlier, Marty was very good here last year. I wouldn't be surprised if he qualifies in the top 10 like Marty did last year. I have high hopes for Chase Briscoe in general this year, but I like that matchup, taking Chase. And then the other one I took was Tyler Reddick over Connor Zilich.
What was the price on that?
What was the actual price?
Minus 150.
Oh, okay. Because I like that, but not at that price.
Right. I have it at even money.
Meyer, did you bet any matchup? Were those the only 2 that you liked? Coop?
Well, I mean, I think like you're never going to bet a matchup because you're very rarely going to find a plus matchup. Like if you scour through these pluses this week, there's not many of them.
Meyer?
There's 2 that stand out to me, and one of them is just because of the odds. So on Caesars, Kyle Larson's 10-1 to win the race outright. Connor Zilich is plus 750.
And
Larson is minus 130. Now he's minus 120 to beat Connor Zilich head to head.
Welcome to NASCAR.
Yeah. So
same with Reddick.
Well, so like you can even get. I mean, SVG's minus 145 over Zilich at DK.
Right. And I mean that's why I took Reddick, just because of his consistency versus the other 2.
Right. And then kind of combing through some of these, there's one that stands out to me. It would be Blaney minus 105 over Suarez. Suarez has been god awful at COTA.
Mm-hmm.
Suarez has finished 24th, 27th, and 31st at Coda. And if you're talking about where does Trackhouse send any sort of, or where they put their time and effort into, Suarez has got to be on the bottom of that list when it comes to SVG, Chastain, and Zilich, you'd think. And you could get Byron at minus 105 versus Suarez. Like, that one stands out to me. I would bet Blaney in that head-to-head at minus 105.
I don't mind it.
Yeah. I don't mind it.
I mean, have any of these jumped out to you?
Yeah, Will Byron plus 110 over SVG. Fuck out of my face. I might bet that right now. That's at Caesars. How are you going to make that kid plus 110 in this race with how good he's looked the last few years at Coda?
He's parked it on the pole back-to-back years.
I mean, come on.
That's what I was shocked when the odds first opened and Byron he's currently 10-1 on FanDuel to win the race.
How many Hendricks Motorsports cars, gun to your head, finish in the top 10? 3?
At least 3.
Yeah,
At least?
I'd say at least 2, probably 3.
I think there's a shot where all 4 of them finish in the top 10.
That's what I'm. You know, the crazy thing is, don't you feel like the odd man out is kind of Larson?
Right now, it feels that way. Yeah.
As crazy as that is to say.
Yeah.
I don't know. Chase has shown a lot of speed so far in these first, even obviously at the Clash, but he was really fast at Atlanta too. Just wrong place, wrong time.
Mm-hmm.
He's back. He came back last year. He'll be fully back. Yeah, I don't mind Byron plus 110 over SVG. Scary to fade that guy, but give me Will Byron there.
The only piece of that is like, just be careful that you don't let SVG bury you.
Yeah, I haven't made a bet yet.
Right.
I did bet the Indy race though. I don't see any other matchups that I like here. All right, miscellaneous. Well, we're not going to have stage 1 props out.
But I'm out on stage 1. There's just too much, unknown here. We don't know what the gas mileage is going to be at. Like Adam was saying, they could take 2 stops.
Did you see the odds they? You see the odds they hung on winner of stage 1 and 2 wins the race? I couldn't believe
it's
the
like
odds.
16-1. It's horrible.
Yeah, but normally, what is that?
That's a new market for them this year.
Yeah,
it was out last year.
Yeah,
what?
Yeah, normally it's like 8, 7, 6. 16-1. I was like, wow, really? 16?
It should be $1 billion to 1.
Of course it should, man, but we live in the real world.
No one's going to sweep the stages here because people are going to come. Like, this race is a legit. You come for tires two laps before the stage break.
Hey, how many people you think hit the button on that bet?
3?
Yeah. I think you misunderstand the sports betting market, Mar.
I mean, apparently 50% of income now is whole parlays. So
total cautions in the race, they're hanging 5.5. We had no cautions last year. I think, Coop, what'd you say? We were averaging 8 to 9.
Yeah, 8 to 9 the prior 2 years.
Over 5.5 is plus money. You think they get back?
What book is that?
I mean, you need 4 cautions.
Little C.
I don't even have that.
Do you think that we get back to normal, Coop?
Mm-hmm. I don't know. I can see you getting hooked on that at 5. I don't know.
Are there
flip a coin?
Were there any? Oh, driver to win the pole. So Meyer bet earlier in the week. Byron. Oh, you could still get a good number on Byron. Not as good. Byron at 9-1. Reddick and Bell, right?
No, I had Gibbs. Gibbs at 9.
You bet SVG.
But I did have SVG at 4.
So if I was betting the pole, I would bet Byron, Bell, and Reddick. That's it. Those would be the 3 guys that I would personally bet. I don't know if I'm going to get involved. I'm not sure. But those would be the guys that I would bet to win the pole. Bell, Byron, and Reddick. Who would you have, Coop?
I'm going to tell you who I have real quick. I'm looking.
Oh, you bet them?
Yeah, Adam twisted my arm.
I didn't twist. Stop it.
All right.
I bet Reddick, Gibbs, Byron, and Bell.
So what I said plus Gibbs. Obviously you didn't bet it straight, right?
Oh no, I bet it straight.
You bet it straight?
I did. Quarter of a unit on each one. I told you the guy was twisting my arm, man. I felt like I had to, bet it, or else I was going to get, broken and killed.
This can't be.
So I
real.
just went in and did it.
Okay.
Also, it's finding out it was the first non to win bet out this week. It was kind of weird. It was out before all the other props at Caesars. So.
Hey, don't you think we got to tie something to that over 2.5 Toyotas in the top 10? Or would you just bet it straight at -140?
Well, let me ask you this question. Who's the 4th and 5th Toyota who can qualify in the top 10?
I don't know about the 5th, but I think Briscoe's the 4th.
Okay.
Gibbs obviously the 3rd.
Right. I know it's Gibbs, Bell, and Reddick, but who's 4 and 5?
Well, I can't say I feel good at all about a 5th, but if you're putting a 4th in there, it's Briscoe.
Okay. I don't disagree with you on that. My only concern is how much confidence do you have in Briscoe or Hamlin and Bell? I mean, Hamlin and Wallace, because that's who 5th would probably be. If something happens to one of the top 3.
Well, it's not a true qualifying run.
Right. They have 20 minutes. They can run it 3 or 4 times, but, theoretically, if the tires wear, your second lap and third lap and fourth lap shouldn't be as fast as your first.
Yeah, but it's got to make you feel a little bit better that they're not going to basically go out in Group 1, right? Group A. They try to lay down a time and then have to go back out. Right.
If I was going to bet a Meyer, I'd bet it straight at -120. It's at Caesars.
It's -140.
It's -120.
Well, your odds are different than mine then.
Hold on, let me see what I got. Total number of Toyotas in top 10 qualifying over 2.5 -140.
Lucky me.
Or you just haven't refreshed your page.
Just refreshed it. Still -120.
Okay.
Well, I guess geolocation puts me in a bad spot to bet that then.
Any other props that you guys want to run through?
That's all I got. Unless you want to talk about these atrocious FanDuel specials.
Yeah. Have you looked at any of these team triples that they have yet on Caesars?
I have.
At some point this year, they've got to hit, but it's just a matter of when.
Yeah, I looked. If I was going to bet it, I would probably bet Hendrick.
Right. I figured that's where you were going.
30 to 1.
Right, but you got to put a lot of bets onto that.
Yeah. I do think it's entirely possible, though, that one wins, finishes in the top 5, and finishes in the top 10. To be honest, like, those first couple could happen too. Chastain could win the race. SVG could top 5. I guess there's a world where Zilich top 10s. Like, that could happen. Bell, Gibbs, and Reddick top 10 could happen. Win. I mean, it's endless.
Right.
There are
What do you
so
think
many.
about? What do you think about like the top Ford and top Toyota market, where you get Buescher top Ford, Bell top Toyota 8 to 1, or you can get Cindric and Reddick at 10 to 1?
Don't hate it.
Wish they would give you all the combos. They
You can make your
unless
own.
they
though.
cherry pick.
You can go to DK and make your own combos. I think there's a couple sites.
Oh yeah. I forgot
Yeah.
to. They allow you to parlay those.
I think you might be able to do it at MGM too.
Yeah, Reddick and Buescher gets you to 7 to 1. Buescher and Bell get you to 760. So you're actually getting a better price at Caesars if you go that route.
Yeah, I don't mind it. It could happen. If I was going to do it, I would only do it with Toyota and Ford because there are so many Chevys.
Right.
All right. Any official bets you guys want to give out for props?
I mean,
I just put that Bowman top 10 in the Discord earlier today.
I like Bowman top 10. I will be betting that.
Yeah, you'll get a better number at 365 if it's even money.
I kind of like Byron at plus 110 over SVG at Caesars.
I do like that Blaney over Suarez too, but I didn't bet it.
Coop?
All my plays are on the sheet.
Not giving anything out to the people?
I mean, all my plays are on the sheet. I don't have
Listen.
anything else.
Okay.
So let's talk Xfinity quick, because does everybody agree that it's Zilich or pass Xfinity?
Yes. Well, for me anyway.
That's where I'm at. Like, I'd like to get that number to like 4 to 1. And that's the only bet we have going into Xfinity.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to try to do.
I mean, is that a betting strategy, or is that like you just think he walks the field?
I think there's a very good shot he walks the field again. Yeah.
So if you think he can walk the field, that means he's going to put William Byron and Ross Chastain down easily. Two guys that you just spent a lot of time talking about.
Did you watch the fucking race that he raced?
Yeah, I know, but like
the car looked.
I know it's just two guys. All right, Byron and Chastain. But if you think he's gonna, and I'm not saying he's not, all right, but I'm just saying, like, if you think he's gonna walk the dog on them in Xfinity, like, why are you so down on him in Cup?
Because Cup is a different animal, and it's an entirely different car, and it's an entirely different level of competition. There's 15 of those guys, not 2.
Right.
Well, that's why.
That Watkins Glen race was, I mean, honestly, it was super impressive, right? That race had Dinger, SVG, Byron, and Gibbs.
So that's 5 who walked the dog on.
And he beat him by multiple seconds after a stage 3 penalty that under caution, they decided to drive right through the chicane.
Right. So clearly he's not God, right? So it was the car. put Tyler Reddick in that car, and he dog walks the field backwards, right? So
We're gonna find out.
It looks like that car is super legit, and I'm not going to fade it. That's for sure.
So what you're saying is that the 2 road courses that he has run, Watkins Glen and Coda, has been the vehicle and not him.
Coop, when you look at the people he went against in that race, and you look at what that car did in that race, it is impossible to think it was anything else. We're not talking about you and me. We're talking about Tyler Reddick, SVG, Will Byron. I mean, these are the best in the world at what they do, right? So if you're going to drive through the field 3 fucking times and run around for fun, how can you come to any other conclusion than that car was in a different world than Tyler Reddick's car?
It's just odd that 2 different races he has the vehicle.
One was a truck race.
Right. Yep.
But do you see what I'm saying? How do you come to any other logical conclusion when you know the caliber of people that he shit on? How do you?
The logical conclusion would be that he's excellent at what he does.
Oh, that he's God?
He very well may
they're not mutually exclusive, right? They both can be true. He's very good at road course racing, and he had a very, very, very good car.
You're talking about a guy that's got multiple wins on the Cup level. What are you talking about? I mean, you're talking about Tyler Reddick, bro. You're talking about the best road course guy in the best series in the world.
I'm not arguing that. I'm just saying all eyebrows talking about is I want to bet this.
I'm not talking to you.
Okay.
Like
all right.
You're talking about this like it is the best guy in the best series in that format in the world, right? So if he's going to shit on that guy, how do you come to any other conclusion than it was the car? I don't understand the logic. Explain it to me like I'm a 4-year-old child.
I think it's the kid's good. Like, unfortunately, like we probably wouldn't be having a lot of these conversations if MGM never put him at 100-1 to begin with. All right. But like, that's what's made people quote unquote hate on him, you know, when he probably shouldn't be deserving the hate, you know, or not necessarily the hate, but the ridicule of how good he is. Like he could be like
he could be, but you can't price him.
James, when he was 18, people were like, he's it.
He could be, but you can't price him like he is until you see it, right?
Yeah, but I mean, again, like the books have been forced because of the mistake.
Right. But all I'm saying is like it is very when you think of the caliber of the people that he beat in that race and what he did to those people, it is very hard for me to square it was anything other than his car was on a different planet. We are talking about Tyler Reddick. I mean the kid
didn't come out of nowhere. It's not like he never raced road courses and all this and all that before he got into, you know, trucks and Xfinity. And
I don't disagree with you, but like, don't you think we're splitting hairs when you get to the NASCAR Cup Series? Like, don't you think at a certain point it is an equation of the performance of the car against the skill of the driver? And at that point, like, what is the handicap? Like, how much worse is Tyler Reddick than any other guy that drives a road course car in the NASCAR Cup Series?
So let me ask you this. Is Austin Hill in super speedways, or is it the car?
That's exactly.
No. Which is it?
It's the car. When they're running 1-2 for the same fucking car company, it's clearly the car.
And no credit to Austin Hill whatsoever.
Coop, if Jesse Love was running around the track 33rd, okay.
Why isn't Austin Hill walking the field when it comes to the Cup car super speedways then?
Right. This is my point.
I don't know. I don't know. I would be a lot more afraid of Connor Zilic when it comes to Cup if you think he's going to walk the dog in Xfinity. So that's all I'm saying.
All right. Well, that was a fun discussion to end. I enjoyed it.
Because I think and it is Austin Hill and it is the car.
Right. I agree. I agree.
But
I think he was slightly better. God.
If you put I can't think of some like Sammy Smith in that car, would he do the same thing? I don't know.
Well, I mean, obviously Jesse Love's been able to make it work for him too.
Yeah, but not necessarily. I mean, like, look at Jesse Love on this past week. He struggled to get back up front. It's not like the car went boom right back up front. He struggled.
Yeah, but we didn't see Austin Hill in traffic, for what it's worth.
Well, it might not be the car.
And the kid also led 180 laps the 2 races prior to Atlanta Cup.
Yeah. So I don't know. I would not be surprised if it's the car and Zilic.
So then you're saying that there is a legitimate possibility that Sunday afternoon, the best road course stock driver on the planet is an 18-year-old kid.
2 years ago, all right, in Chicago, we said, look at Shane Van Gisbergen. Never came out of anywhere. And he was the best street race that day.
Yeah, but he's also a road course ringer. He's been doing it. It's the only thing he's been doing.
He was the best in the world.
He was the best in the world.
Okay. All right.
And the only reason that he won that race is because Harvick didn't pull forward 8 more feet 20 seconds sooner.
Yeah, exactly.
Otherwise, we got a 200 to 1.
Like, and another thing, the quote unquote best in the world, he's won 1 road course.
Yes.
1.
Yeah. I'm just saying, like, Zilic is going to be better than what you think he is.
I think he's going to be good. I just think that you're asking for. Go ahead.
I don't know what he is. That's my point. I don't know what he is at this level because you and I have been watching this sport a fucking long time, man. How many times have you and I seen people that have absolutely destroyed ARCA, trucks, and Xfinity and shit the bed in Cup? It happens 95% of the time. The white breads, they get through. Yeah, they get through, the Logano's, but the Austin Cindrics get through too. Like, you just can't assume that the kid is going to come on this level and destroy the field. I think your point
was made very well with Gibbs. Like, why hasn't Gibbs won a race yet? Knowing how good he was at Xfinity and knowing how good he was at road courses. You can't say he's had bad equipment.
He's got almost 100 races under his belt at this point, right? He's ran 2 years. What's that? 80 races? 75 races?
And he was fully tenured in Xfinity, too.
Can't sniff a win.
How many races did it take?
He also won his Xfinity race debut at a road course as well.
Right.
Gibbs.
Did you hear me?
Go ahead.
How many races did it take Chase Elliott to win?
I would have to look. Off the top of my head, I don't know.
It was over 90.
That's what I'm saying, though, Coop. Like, what the odds that the fact that this kid is 3-1 to get the pole.
Look, I'm not arguing against that. I'm just saying, like, I would just be careful. All right, going deep against him.
Would you say if he wins the race on Sunday, that's the most impressive thing we've seen in NASCAR since what?
I don't know. It's pretty hard to answer right now, but I mean,
A long time.
really impressive. Put it that way.
I mean, that would be incredible. 18-year-old kid comes on the scene and wins his first Cup Series race against
Second youngest to ever debut in Cup. If he wins, I'd be floored.
By 3 months, right?
It might even be less than that. Only to Logano.
I mean, it would be incredible if he ends up winning that race. And at that point, you cannot line the odds. These odds are fucking crazy.
But I think you also got to consider, all right, like this is his specialty, all right,
right,
and if he ran this race 10 times consecutively, like you would think that he would get better and better and better, but it's not the same. Like I think he would have a much better chance of winning this race 10 times, 1 out of the 10 times, than like all these ovals that you would put in there and short tracks and stuff like that, super speedways, because that's not like his forte.
Right.
Yeah, this plays into his hand 100%.
But like Coop, you weren't wrong. Like when you were talking about like Ty Gibbs and what he can be, I mean, that kid absolutely shit all over Xfinity. He destroyed it. Any race he wanted, he won. Like, do you think that kid, his level might be so far above where Gibbs was coming into Cup that he might be able to get over the hump much sooner than Ty Gibbs?
Like, I don't think.
Or is it just this format?
Like, I just think it's a road course. Like, if it's a oval or a short court track, I mean, I have no interest in him whatsoever. Just like SVG, I have no interest in him in, anything other than a road course.
I mean, and to be fair to Ty Gibbs, it's not like he came on the scene and he's running 18th. I mean, the kid's finishing like what, 2nd, 3rd, 5th.
Yeah, he's a contender every week.
Yeah,
He's always got to be
100%. Like, I'm not trying to shit on him at all because he's definitely a contender. I don't know. I was just blown away by what I saw the odds do for an 18-year-old kid in his first Cup start. I was blown away.
I just think you got to forget the odds because the odds were never true because of MGM. I mean,
but don't you think that it is such
I mean, Bet365, which has nothing to do with MGM, I don't think they ever opened them at 100. They got the kid at 3-1 to get the pole.
They don't want no money on him. They don't want to, that's what it's all come down.
What do you think it is? Just because it's a giant unknown?
Yeah. They don't want to take the risk.
I think they just know they just get a ton of action on the kid.
Yeah. There's not worth the risk.
But Coop, don't you feel like it is the hardest thing for me to grasp is you're asking this kid in his Cup debut to be perfect for every lap, right? He cannot make a mistake against these guys in this field, in those cars.
Right. Yeah.
And, like tough, the pressure is all on this kid to be perfect for 3 stages of this race.
Yeah, but there's also, you look at it, there's not as much pressure on him because like he's only there to win. That's it.
You only get one Cup debut.
Points. Yeah, he's not racing for points. The other piece too is, no matter what happens, he's the one driver, maybe other than Chris Bell, since he has a win, and Byron, since they have a win, they can do whatever they want to do strategy-wise. They can play the optimal. They don't have to worry about any type of points or anything like that. So there are some
that Watkins Glen race to me checked a lot of boxes in terms of his skill, right? I mean, he had to save tire, he had to save fuel, he had to also race hard to make up for the penalty. I think the kid's got immense amount of talent. I think it's a tall ask to him to go out there and be the class of the field against this field.
That's kind of where I'm at.
I think he will do it in Xfinity. I think it's a really tough ask in Cup. And I think the books lined it that way because they just don't want you to bet him.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
All right. let's get out of here. So we told you guys where we're heading. All the plays will be official plays for our subs at nukethehouse.com. You guys could use the free promo code NukeTheNBA, get a 1-week free trial at nukethehouse.com. Won't cost you $1. Come hang out with us this weekend at Coda. Saturday, we're going to have a subscriber-only show for Xfinity and MMA. Sunday, we will be live on Nuke the House YouTube, open to the public. All right, quickly, just go around the horn. Give me your winner. Give me your runner-up. Go ahead, Coop.
Tyler Reddick, win. AJ Allmendinger, runner-up.
Meyer.
Wow. I'm also going to go with Reddick, but I think my runner-up is going to be Chris Bell.
I'm going to go Chris Bell wins. Byron finishes second.
So speaking of subscriber shows or Saturday shows, are we, now that you got me roped into this goddamn IndyCar race?
Yeah.
You're not going to make me sweat that out alone, right?
Wait, what time is it?
I think it's like
starts at 12:30.
noon.
Yeah.
Noon on what day?
Sunday.
Saturday.
No, it's Sunday.
Sunday.
What are they doing? They're doing something Saturday morning too, right? Is it just practice?
I think so. I could be completely
We'll go live at 2:30 on Saturday when Xfinity starts, and then Sunday, if you want, Meyer, we can go live early for Indy and just roll that right in the Cup, which I think starts at like 3:00. So I'm down.
I think that's their plan.
If anybody wants a bet, I bet Joseph Newgarden to win the St. Petersburg GP. I have not made what?
Why?
Because he's phenomenal here. Look into his stats.
Okay.
Look into what he's done here. He's a beast. I think it's going to be hard for him to lose, but who the fuck knows? I'm going to bet. I'm just about done handicapping MMA. As soon as I'm done with that and all my NASCAR action will be up on the site. Coop's got a bunch of plays up there for subscribers, and that's it, man. I'm very happy to get super speedways in the rear view mirror. Let's go out there. The season starts. Let's make some money, and that's it for the boys. I'm Keg. We will see you guys this weekend for the EchoPark Automotive Grand Prix. Later.